Are the Oakland Athletics broke? That is a hell of a question. We know the franchise wants us all to believe it does not have any money. It's the reason cited for the club's inability to sign free agents, to retain key players, to do anything that resembles fielding a competitive side. The lack of finances is why the team also cannot do anything to spruce up the Oakland Coliseum. Despite being in a self-proclaimed difficult monetary situation, A's owner John Fisher, Dave Kaval, the management side of things, they continue to come up with funds for various other things that have nothing to do with baseball. The most recent news had John Fisher willing to forfeit tens of millions of dollars next year in regional television money from NBC Sports Bay Area in order for the A's to play in Sacramento. Firstly, Sacramento does not want the A's to play there. I don't know why Oakland wants to force this move upon us, but the city has zero interest in your crappy team. Second, how can Oakland afford to do this if it is broke, if it is so desperate for money? While we don't know the exact financial hit it would take with this move, the Athletics did receive $67 million from the television network, and it would be facing a significant loss of that in 2025 should it not be playing in the Bay Area media market. Now, it's possible they can negotiate some sort of an agreement with NBC Sports Bay Area, but all signs point to it losing at least half, if not more, of that fee should it not be playing in Oakland or somewhere else in the greater Bay Area media market. Hypothetically, let's just say that $67 million payment that the A's would receive in 2025 for playing in Oakland would be, say, $30 million if they go somewhere else. Let's not forget this key fact about the Howard Terminal ballpark then. It's reported the team and the Oakland city government were only $36 million apart on the Howard Terminal infrastructure that would have eventually gotten the project off the ground if an agreement could have been reached. In other words, money that A's ownership is now potentially willing to forfeit by playing in Sacramento, not Oakland in 2025, could have actually been used to bridge this gap in the Howard Terminal ballpark. Seriously, this loss in TV revenue next season could have been used to keep the club in Oakland and to have shovels in the ground on a new ballpark. What? Let this sink in for a second. The A's, the poor A's, the A's that can't afford basic necessities to run a baseball club on a day-to-day basis, are now willing to forfeit more money next season than it would have cost to get Howard Terminal up and running. A potential new ballpark that had renderings, that had plans, that had all of that good stuff. All of the stuff Las Vegas still doesn't have months and months later. It is absolutely dumb. And it only gets dumber from here. Because that isn't the only dough that John Fisher, Dave Kaval, and friends have seemingly found under their couch cushions in recent times. In December of last year, the Athletics paid Alameda County some $45 million as part of a deal that gave the team control over half of the Oakland Coliseum site. It needs to be said, great deal, Alameda County, way to not screw everyone over. If that's not bad enough, the $45 million spent by the A's in the land purchase, I guess you could call it, is nearly double the amount the team has committed to player salaries in 2024. All this does is highlight a basic fact that most of us are already painfully aware of. John Fisher and the Oakland Athletics have money. They have more than enough money. They just don't want to spend it on doing anything that would make the baseball team competitive. And they also don't want to spend it on anything that would get a new stadium built in Oakland. And really, why would you want to build a ballpark in Oakland where people are actually going to hold you to account and make you responsible for your actions when you can head on down to good old Las Vegas, hand over menial amounts of money to city officials, state officials, local politicians, who will then greenlight and give you a pretty fat check to build a mythical ballpark without renderings, without a plan, without funding, without any sort of details. This explains why roughly a month after the Athletics got the green light for that ballpark financing from the Nevada state legislature, donations started to roll in from the team to various people connected to the plan's approval. Folks like Clark County Commissioner Michael N. Naft, Nevada State Senator Carrie Buck, and Nevada Assemblywoman Danielle Gallant. It's almost like Fisher and Cavill were paying for yes votes. All told, the Oakland Athletics spent $23,000 on various political contributions from July of last year up until December. All of it coming, of course, after the stadium funding vote was approved. This is what corruption looks like, folks. But let us not focus on that infinitely frustrating aspect of the process. The question I have is, where was all of this money when the Athletics and John Fisher were trying to get a stadium built in Oakland? During that process, all the team wanted to do was cry about how it had no money, it was so poor, it couldn't be competitive, blah, blah, blah. Yet they have $45 million to give to Alameda County. They can forfeit 30 some odd million dollars in TV revenue for 2025 because they want to play in Sacramento, which is a bad idea. And they can still come up with tens of thousands of dollars on what basically amount to political bribes. Sorry, I don't want to find myself in a lawsuit, so alleged political bribes. But honestly, who the fuck supports a politician after they have voted yes for something they wanted passed? I mean, you tell me that. Going back to the Oakland A's and their sad attempts of claiming financial hardship. Broke people don't spend $20,000 on political contributions. Broke people do not give out $45 million to conclude land transactions. Do not tell me you are broke when you're spending obscene amounts of money. Seriously, the Oakland A's have the financial wherewithal of a college student who's just received their FAFSA disbursement for the semester. Sure, you could buy books and save money for the upcoming semester, or you could drive down to Boise, Idaho and see Antoine Walker play for the Idaho Stampede in the NBA D-League. Wait, why is the camera on me? I would never dare doing such a ridiculous... Okay, yeah, it was me. So the day after I got my financial aid for spring semester one year at the University of Idaho, I drove from Moscow all the way down to Boise to see Antoine Walker play in the D-League. And you know what? I don't regret it. It was well worth it. I also didn't spend the rest of the semester bitching about how poor I was or how I didn't have any money. I made it work with the resources I had. The Oakland A's don't have the self-respect to do any such thing, though. They want to cry about how poor they are, how they're broke, how they can't fund anything, despite the fact they're out here spending huge amounts of cash. Oakland Athletics ownership, John Fisher, Dave Cavill, the whole crony system that they have operating for them, they're not broke. And honestly, I'm tired of hearing it. Don't tell me you don't need $30 million in TV revenue because you are in a financially tough spot. It ain't true. Better yet, just build the ballpark in Oakland, which has renderings, a plan, financing, all of that stuff. It is ready to freaking go, and yet you're still hanging out down in Las Vegas making something which seems nothing more than a pipe dream a reality. What the hell is this nonsense? Just another annoying day in what has to be one of sports' most ridiculous sagas, the Oakland Athletics relocation. Thank you, though, for watching this video. If you'd like to know a little bit more about what actually happens when an MLB owner gets a new stadium, well, you can check out the video in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. That does it for me. I'm Cheyenne Hollis. This is The Touchback. Hashtag sell the team John Fisher and hashtag take it out to the 25.